With the 8th pick in the 2008 NBA Draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Joe Alexander from West Virginia University.
To another episode of Being in the Zone. I'm your host Amir Dan, former competitive athlete turned mental coach, and today I have the privilege of speaking with Joe Alexander, former NBA player, 8th pick in the 2008 draft, who also played in Europe and Israel in top teams like Maccabi Tel Aviv. So Joe, welcome to the show, welcome to the podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. You're so nice. We talked before and I think it's a really privilege, and everyone I think who will listen to this show will gain a lot of insights and inspiration from you. So I'm really happy to have you here. And I want to ask you, like, you reach to the NBA, every young player's dream. Every young player you ask, like, what's your dream, what's your goals? They say, I want to get to the NBA. What you think separates you, like, help you get there? Like, it was work ethic, it was the mindset, it was talent, it was something else?
So it was a lot of things together, but number one, it was my lifestyle. I lived a life that nobody was willing to live. There were so many kids that were more talented than me and more athletic than me. Especially when I was younger, I was not talented and I was not athletic. But my lifestyle was 100 times different from every player around me. Even when I went to college and played at the highest level in college, nobody was living like I was. Mm-hmm. So even though there was a gap between me and the other players, I was always closing the gap because my lifestyle allowed it. And players that I talk to nowadays, they have no concept of living the lifestyle that you need to become a professional. So that's really what separated me.
What did you do? Like, what things you do in your day, in your routines that help you like close the gap between the other players?
Nothing. The most important thing I did was nothing. My real art, like what I did to make the NBA, was the art of cutting, not allowing anything to enter my life, not allowing anything to enter my mind, not allowing anything to enter my schedule, and that's very difficult thing to do, especially when you're a kid and you have temptations, you have kids around you, you have girls, you have obligations. And so I was an artist at waking up every day and saying no to everything, to put headphones in and ignore the whole world. Because when you're trying to go to the NBA, your schedule is so demanding. You have one thing after another, and you don't really want to do any of it because you're super tired, you're bored. You've been doing it every day for years. And it's very easy for somebody to come into your life and say, hey, come with me to the movies, or come sit on the couch with me and talk for 20 minutes or whatever it is. And you really have to be skilled at saying no to everything, everybody. And I did that for about 10 straight years. Nobody else was doing that. So.
Nobody else in your surroundings and stuff?
No, nobody. I never, in my whole amateur journey from the age of 9 years old until 21, I never met a single other player who was living the way that I was. And at the end of it, I didn't just go to the NBA, I was an NBA pick. And so it's top 10 in the world, basically. And there's just one reason for that. There was nobody else who was living like I was. So,
how do you get to a point when you can avoid so much, you have a lot of distractions.
Yeah.
Especially when you're 15, 16, 17, when you're in high school, you said you have girls, you have friends, you want to do other stuff too. What helped you avoid those distractions? Say no was you had a really powerful a goal or motivation or something else?
No, kids who want to go to the NBA, they make a big mistake. They think I need to get disciplined and I need to get motivated. This is all a bunch of bullshit. if that is what helped people, then everybody would achieve their goals, because everybody knows, oh, I need to write down my goals, get disciplined, get motivated. None of that helps. That stuff helps you for like a week or a month, but it doesn't sustain you for 10 straight years. Imagine you have to do one thing, it's the most difficult thing in the world, and you have to do it for 10 years, breaks. Motivation and discipline, they're not part of the equation. So for me to live that lifestyle of saying no to everybody, I had to train disgust. So disgust is, do you know this word? What's the word in Hebrew? For
Disgust.
Likfod?
Disgusting?
Disgusting. Like I look at something and I just want to throw up.
Yeah, magid.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
It's dirty.
Yeah.
So I learned when I was a kid that if I wanted to stay away from other people and their lifestyle and not be tempted by them, discipline doesn't help me, because eventually you crack, you break.
Yeah.
So I had to train myself to be disgusted by everything. I can't even look at you. I can't even think about talking to you or being around you. I'm disgusted by everything that you do, disgusted by your lifestyle, disgusted by the things that you talk about. And I didn't practice being disciplined, I practiced being disgusted.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like you made yourself like disgusted. I like get to a point you can't do it, you don't want to do it, like get you to your mind to think like that, and then you don't have to be disciplined, and you don't have to like get cracked like a lot of players do. Like you said it, they do it for a month, they do it for 2 months, they train, they wake up early, they do all this stuff, but then they crack, they break when their friends want to come over, when they have girls and they want to go to a party or something like this. So it's really interesting, and you want to add something?
yeah, I just want to add, when I say kids do it for a month, the truth is they don't. What I did when I was a kid, nobody does it for a month. I've never seen a kid, and I talk to a lot of kids, I train a lot of kids, I've never seen a kid do, even for 1 month, what I was doing, what I did for 10 years. So I give kids a little bit of like grace by saying they do it for a month. The truth is nobody does.
But they don't do it. Like what did you like really did? Like how did your schedule look? How much did you train?
Sure.
Like, what
So my rule was that I had to have a basketball in my hands training alone for 3 hours every single day. And that didn't include team practice or with a trainer, or if I was playing one-on-one or 5-on-5, it's alone by myself 3 hours. And those other elements can add on top of it. Then I had to do plyometrics. You know what is plyometrics?
Yeah.
Every day. So no Sundays, no weekends off, no holidays. And I have to lift weights every day. And this was like 2 days a week, 3 days a week, it was 7 days a week for 10 years. And I never took a single day off. So when I would train with other kids, they would tell me, oh, they're working hard, they really want to play college basketball. None of them even did what I just told you for 1 day. They would come for half the day, get tired, go home, eat lunch, they wouldn't come back. And then in a week, they maybe did 50% of the work that I did. And then they would be gone. So it's a very difficult schedule. It's pretty much impossible to do unless you get to a place mentally that's a little bit strange. I talked about disgust, but there's a lot more levels to it also.
No, that's interesting, because I think like also one of the questions the players sent before the podcast, they said like if you always like talented, or you will like the top player in your teams growing up, and now I hear you say you did like some things like your training, your schedule, your routines, your lifestyle was like none other player, you said like none other player did these things for not for a month or a day or a week. So I think it's also answer this question, like a lot of players think like you have to be like really talented to get to this level, but they do like all these extras, all these things that help them close this gap, like you said.
Well, like your real talent is being an artist at changing your mind and coming up with your own creative ideas. That's what real talent is. Talent is not, how can I throw a basketball? Talent is taking ideas that other people have and can I swear on this podcast?
Yeah.
And saying, fuck your ideas. I have different ones. That's talent. So for example, when I was a kid, I was not talented. And you can look at video of me. I was horrible. And I was embarrassing. I was skinny, small, clumsy. I couldn't play basketball. Even when I was a teenager, I was 13, 14. And, but one of my talents was I never let myself get on a court with anybody unless I had, in the last 12 hours, worked for 3 hours all alone. So anytime I was on a court, let's say I was casually playing 3-on-3 with some people at a gym, and they say, hey, you, come here and play with me. If in the last 12 hours I hadn't worked by myself for 3 straight hours, I wouldn't play with them. So if you were playing with me and you're like, this kid, he's kind of good, he can shoot a little bit, he can do crossovers. I had been doing it for the last 3 hours all by myself since I woke up that morning. Mm-hmm. And if I didn't do it, then I wouldn't get on the court. So this was one of my talents, was this concept. And I had 100 rules like this. And this is what got me from a nobody with no talent to somebody, was these strange things. So
it's crazy. It's all connected to the next question I want to ask you. There is a lot of good players. They can jump, they can shoot, they can throw the ball really, really good, but they don't make it to the NBA. I even heard an interview, I think it was 20, 30 years before, of Michael Jordan, who said this: there's a lot of players, they can jump, they can hoop, they can throw the ball really good, but they're not in the league, they're not in the NBA because they don't have the right mindset, the right mentality, the confidence in themselves, the killer instincts. How much of a role do you think that the mental side of the game has in elite leagues in the NBA?
It's 100% of it. Your physical makeup, it doesn't matter. It's 100%. It's your approach. That's what matters. I think the number one place to start with your mentality, if you don't know where to go, what do I think? The number one place to start, that everything grows from, like the seed that grows the tree, is personal responsibility. This is number one, personal responsibility. From there, everything else can grow. And personal responsibility just means your world, everything around you, the things happening to you, and your future is a result of your own actions and your own thinking, your own behavior. It's nobody else's fault but yours. And if you can accept that 100%, then you can start on your journey to your goals. Because once you accept that, you can become very powerful, because it means that everything is in your control. And I think that's also what gives you the ability to take action. Because a lot of people, they want to go to the NBA and they can't take action because they feel powerless. They're like, I'm not tall enough, I'm not talented enough, like you said. I'm from Israel or whatever it is. I was from Taiwan. Nobody from Taiwan, China had ever gone to the NBA. So you can become powerful and have confidence in yourself when you realize my whole future, even the NBA, is in my control. So that
you mean also in my control, in a sense of not blaming others, and on also on a level that you need to take the responsible for your own actions, and you understand you're against you, and you need to do everything that it takes and everything in your control together. If you gather, great. If don't, you did everything possible to achieve that goal.
Yes. So blame is important. So, like I said, this was my number one thing mentally as a kid, was that nobody is to blame for nothing in my life. Nobody, only me. If things are bad, it's my fault, and you have to look at the mirror and say, how did I fuck this up? What did I not do that I should have done? How did I, and maybe the biggest one, and I think this is number 2 in the list of mental. So number 1 is personal responsibility, and number 2 is self-honesty. It's looking in the mirror and learning how to stop lying to yourself. As a kid, these were the two big like mental steps. So if something goes bad in your basketball journey, naturally you want to point the finger at other people. You have to learn to point it at yourself, and then you have to learn to start to be honest with yourself and to say, I told myself I was working hard. You were fucking lying to yourself. You're a liar. So you look in the mirror and you say, stop bullshitting me, stop lying to me, and let's get real. So that exercise, those two things together, I think is sort of the foundation of where everything else comes from a mentality standpoint.
To not blame others and really being honest with yourself about what you do and how you do it. Like if you did like a workout or you went to the court to shoot or something, if you always know with yourself if you did it like with 100% and intensity and you did it like really really good.
Yes.
And if you were like cutting corners
Yes.
and not did like all the exercise you need, and I think it's something really important also to be honest with yourself and also like to not blame others and take the responsibility.
So I want to talk about the self-honesty part. So self-honesty is a very difficult skill for a kid, and I'll give you an example of how I used to practice it. So when you want to be honest with yourself, usually you write down your drills. You go to the court and then you check after. Did I do them? Mm-hmm. Did I really do them? But you have to practice being skeptical. You know this word skeptical? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have to practice being skeptical of yourself. So one side of your face says, I did my drills. Mm-hmm. But you have to take the other side of your face and go, don't bullshit me. Look at your drills. Are your legs sore? Mm-hmm. Do you feel your legs? Are they tired? No? Then you didn't do your drills. So a lot of kids, they want to be honest and they want to work hard, so they make a schedule and then they put little checks on their schedule, right? There's another level to that, which is to recognize that your brain is always going to trick you. It's always going to fool you and lie to you, and you have to learn to be able to look at even the schedules that you make and recognize that probably you're finding a tricky way to bullshit yourself, mm-hmm. to not do them the way you should. So always being skeptical of yourself is a very important part of self-honesty. So.
Not always like sometimes when you saw and you're feeling tired, you have like all this. Maybe I did enough. Maybe I'll not do this drill or this drill.
Yeah.
That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, and I'll talk a little more about it. So, like, how do you know you're being honest with yourself? Like, how do you really know? Mm-hmm. Like, because one side of you can say I did my drills, and the other side can say, but you're not tired. Mm-hmm. And then you have this little fight with yourself. But I made a lot of shots. I got better. Yeah, but there's nobody guarding you. Who cares? You have this sort of fight inside your head. So how do you know you're being honest with yourself? So for me, when I was a kid, the way I did this was with silence with myself. And I think this is the only way you can do it. So if you as a kid can learn to sit alone in silence with no distraction and kind of go in your head inside your stomach, mm-hmm. and ask yourself quietly, like meditating, am I doing what I say I'm trying to do? Like, I say I wanted to work hard today. I say I'm trying to go to the NBA. Am I really doing it honestly? And if you sit with those questions alone in silence, you'll hear the answers. Yeah. Nobody else can give you the answers. Mm-hmm. And you can't give yourself the answers unless you do it quietly. And if you do it quietly for long enough, you'll feel the answers come up from your gut, like your intuition. They'll come up and they'll either say, no, you're lying to yourself. Or they'll come up and they'll say, yeah, man, you worked hard. You worked your ass off today. Good job. Mm-hmm. And that's how you start to get to self-honesty, is to look inside your stomach and ask yourself questions and then wait on the answers.
You need to silence these noises in your head and be in a quiet place.
I mean, silence the world. Yeah. Like the noises in your head, they can be good, just to be alone, right? Because a lot of kids, they're asking for external sources to get answers. Like ask your coach, ask your trainers, ask your parents, ask your friends, ask Instagram, did I do this? Ask your schedule. Mm-hmm. No, you want to sit alone and meditate and ask your stomach and wait for the answers to come. And sometimes you have to wait all night. Like sometimes you ask the question. When I was a kid, I used to put questions into in Hebrew, you say gut or stomach?
Yeah, it's the same.
Same. Okay, so at nighttime, I would put the questions in my gut. You just ask them. No music on, no TV, nothing. Am I really working hard enough to go to the NBA? And then you go to sleep. And then your gut turns and turns and turns, and in the morning you wake up and it gives you answers. And it says, no, you're not working hard enough. You're fucking up. You're bullshitting. Or it gives you the other one, and then you move from there. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. And how, like, you're talking a lot about, like, your approach and your lifestyle and how you, like, avoid distractions and took responsibility, and that, like, really separates you from players who were like more talented for you. And but how did you, like, you got to the NBA, you worked through like 10 years, you did it in 21, right?
Yeah, 21.
You said 21, you got there, you got drafted in the 8th pick in 2008, right? So you got there, you were in the NBA,
yes.
Milwaukee Bucks, right?
Okay.
And you're there, and how do you deal, like, with the pressure of playing in the NBA? Because you have for every player you have pressure, you have like a nervous before game, but when you get to the NBA you also have like a lot of crowd, a lot of people, and you have the media. And how did you like deal with pressure? Like, I mean pressure like from games, like big games maybe, and also pressure in your entire career, like.
Yeah, so I want to talk about it in maybe a way you don't expect. So, and I don't mean to undercut your question here, but so people on the outside of basketball and sports, they think of this idea of pressure as being something to affect players. We don't care. It doesn't affect us. If you talk to 100 players, 99 of them will just say, fuck you, I don't care about pressure. I'm a professional. And it's true. What affects real professionals more is threats to our schedule. That's what affects us. When you see a player not perform well on the court, usually the fans or the media will say like, oh, pressure. We don't care. What affects us, what you're seeing on the court is the effect of our schedule. How well have we prepared for the last 24 hours, the last 7 days, and the last 6 months? And that's what affects us. So like you go from college to the NBA, it's not about like how do I manage the new pressures. It's about how do I manage my new schedule, my new lifestyle. And that comes down to tiny, tiny details. Like if you think about managing a business, you have all these little tiny details to make the product work and get to the customer. And it's the most stupid details you can imagine. Like the truck, needed this kind of gas, and on the road to get to that customer, they don't have this gas station. Just the most stupid things. This is what affects professional players. It's not like the crowd is bigger, so I feel pressure.
Did you ever felt pressure before big games or something like this?
No.
Not at all, but
I think pressure is sort of an umbrella term, and under it can be a lot of different emotions like anxiety, excitement, fear, adrenaline. I think all those things come together and we use the word pressure to express it. But of course, everyone feels those things, but yeah, you deal with them like you're balancing balls, you're juggling balls. But yeah, I mean, it's normal. Everybody feels like their emotions are sort of boiling and bubbling. Yeah.
So you feel more pressure when something like cuts into a schedule, something like interrupts it. You feel pressure when you feel you don't prepare yourself.
Yeah, that's how professionals are. Yeah, of course we're performing based on how we're emotionally dealing with the moment of the game, but mostly we're dealing with our preparation, right? Because every game is 40 minutes or an hour, but for that 1 hour we've prepared for, there's like 3 sections of preparation. There's the 6 month, the sort of mega cycle, there's the smaller cycle of 1 week, then there's the micro cycle of 24 hours. And the way that we handle those 3 cycles goes into much more effect than we feel. Like if I'm sitting before a game and I'm like, I'm really feeling the pressure, it's not because there's a crowd. I don't give a shit. It's because I know that in the last 24 hours, I wasn't able to do my rehab because we traveled to Greece. I wasn't able to bring my compression boots, my insoles broke, so I don't have the right insoles. That's the stuff that creates pressure. It's our holes in our preparation. So,
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yeah. I got you. When you don't feel like you prepared enough and something happened, it's like affect your like confident ability. Okay. And does it ever happen to you like a lot of players like I think in every sport, but it's really common in basketball. Like they in the game, they feel good, they feel confident, and then they miss the shot, they do a mistake, they lose the ball, and there is like a snowball effect of hesitation and lack of confidence that affects later on in the game, and
Sure.
they take less shot and they hesitate more, and sometimes they don't take shot at all.
Sure.
So it depends on the player. Does it ever happen to you, and how did you like deal with that? What did you say to yourself in this moment when you shoot the ball, it doesn't come, the shots are not accurate, and
Of course, I mean, it happens to everybody. The challenge of being a high-performing professional is about staying in character, regardless of wins or losses. So you can think of it like, have you ever gone to a party and people are laughing at your jokes in the beginning of the party? You start to sort of have a different face about you. Your face almost becomes kind of funny, like I'm funny. And because your face is different, now people are just like entertained by you just by looking at you, and it gains momentum.
Yeah.
And what's giving that process energy is your character. Like, I'm now the funny motherfucker. It's your character. And it's the same on the basketball court, where when you start to have a little bit of success early, your face starts to look a little bit like, I'm relaxed and I'm a killer. And this character that you're in is what creates your success moving forward too. So the challenge in being a professional is learning how to stay in character even when things start to shake you, right? Like, imagine you're at the party and you're telling jokes and you're in character, and then let's say people are laughing, everyone's having a great time, and then a beautiful girl walks up to you and says, "That wasn't funny." So at that point, do you lose your face and become self-conscious and lose your character? Or do you say something funny to her, and keep the ball rolling? So professional is because who we are on the court as a basketball player, it's not who we really are, right? Nobody's like a killer in their life. The people we are on the court is like cartoons, So the challenge is to stay that character even when the hot girl comes up to you and says, "You're not funny." And that's like you shoot an air ball or you shoot a layup and you miss it and you look like an idiot. Can you keep that person?
And how do you do it? How do you stay in this character? Like also when things don't like fall short and doesn't work?
I think there's a couple categories. So the big obvious and stupid category that no one wants to hear anymore is like, it's all mental. Okay, great. Everyone understands that. I can get into details about that, but how do you control it? So for me, the two ways you control it are both involving physicality, but number one is your facial expression, and number two is your posture. If you think about, if I told you right now, get into character, right? And I wanted you to get into character as like an evil person. You know what face you would put on, right? To become a little bit evil. And when you put that face on, your emotions change a little bit, and your posture would change a little bit too. And that process has life to it and gains momentum. So when I'm in a game and I start to lose my character, I first fix my face, and then I fix my posture. And sometimes when I tell that to kids, they think I like stand up straight and be confident. That's not what I'm fucking talking about. What I'm talking about is most players on the court, your character is somebody who doesn't give a fuck. He's confident, but he's confident in a way that like a drug dealer is confident. Like, I don't care what you do to me. Nothing you do threatens me. I'm good. And he's relaxed. He's high. So when I fix my posture on the court, I want my face to relax, and I don't want my face to be angry. I want my face to be like I know a secret that you don't know. Like, I got something up my sleeve. You say that in Hebrew, up my sleeve?
Yeah.
I have something up my sleeve that you don't know. So, and then from there, I want my posture to become a little bit like I'm high and I'm on the beach, and people are wondering if I'm crazy. And from there, though, the facial expression and the posture, it really creates new emotions for you. Your face and your posture will always be like the guard at the door to dictate your emotions. Like if right now we're talking and I start to sit like this and open my eyes wide, like I'm scared, like I'll feel than if I'm
you're feeling like,
like
relaxed and
like kaha, right? Okay, so when I'm on the court and the beautiful woman says to me, "You're not funny, and you missed a shot and you're bad," I fix my face, I fix my posture. So.
Like a lot of players, they have some moments in the game they should able to miss a shot. They don't they do a mistake or something like that. But how you stay body language, you face it and not even like stay like this. You have like an image of Ronaldo's really looking confident. You need to stay like this, but just stay loosen up. And I think for every player it's different. Like maybe some of it need is open chest, look confident, and some players like you, they need to loosen up, lose their face, be more in a funny cocky way. They have something under their sleeve. So I think it's really important also to find what your character, I think, as a player, and what helps you stay in character when you miss a shot, you make a mistake or something like this. And I want to ask you, we talked about missing shots and shooting numbers and making a mistake. You played for how long?
16 years.
15 years. In the 16 years, I'm sure you had a lot of setbacks, a lot of failures, what's your hardest moment you had to face in your career, and how did you deal with it?
My entire career was the hardest moment of my career. I never one time was in a place where I felt good or I felt safe. As a professional player, you are hurt 100% of the time. So every pro is hurt all the time. So that's in practice, it's in morning weights, it's in games and in warm-ups. And every pro is fatigued all the time. Most pros, for most of their whole professional life, have very high anxiety about being cut very soon. It's only one player on a team who feels confident, and no player on the team is excited about how they're playing. So if you're scoring 5 points, you're pissed off at yourself. If you're scoring 10 points, you're pissed off at yourself. If you're scoring 20 points, you're pissed off at yourself. This is the way professionals are wired in our brains. So nobody's happy, nobody's content, nobody's excited, and everybody's very hurt and injured and in pain. So kids imagine that they're going to go be a professional athlete, feel good, be rich, have an amazing life, have a lot of money, smile. This isn't the life of a professional. The way that you become a professional is you teach yourself to be pissed the fuck off all the fucking time. And if there's nothing to be mad at, you invent something to be mad at. And if the people around you are good, you invent reasons why they're not good. These are the skills of a professional. So what was the toughest part of my pro career? It doesn't matter if things are going good or if things are going bad. None of that has any effect on how you feel as a professional player. So the skill of a professional is no matter what the situation outside, no matter what's happening, if it's good or if it's bad, we take the situation, collapse it into something bad. Why? Why do we do this? Because we need to go to the gym in 3 hours from now. And we're hurt, we're injured. So, I'll give you an example. If we win the cup, if I'm playing for Maccabi, we win the cup, everybody's happy. That night, I need to rehab for an hour.
and immediately after the game, I need to go lift weights. Okay, so I'm not on the court celebrating and happy. I'm on the court celebrating as like a performance. Yay, hug the fans. Nah, we're happy. But within 5 minutes, I need to go to the locker room and get angry and get pissed off. And so if I'm like enjoying the moment and it's dictating how I feel, I'm not going to go to the weight room and lift. So a professional, they need to ignore what's happening outside them. So your entire professional career is just one big difficult moment that you are trying to overcome, one big challenge that you're fighting against. Like when you're in the weight room holding the bench press bar and you're pushing it, this is your professional career. The bar is on you all day, and you're fighting it all day, fighting it. It doesn't fucking matter if you're missing shots, you're not after you got cut from your team, coach is yelling at you, you tore something in your knee, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're winning championships, you're still holding the bar and fighting it the whole time. This is what kids don't understand this idea. They think there's wins, there's losses, there's good times, there's bad times. No. As a professional, you are holding the bar the whole time and fighting the whole time. And you don't need to learn how to deal with bad moments. You need to learn to fight all day long. All day, hold the bar. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's interesting. Because a lot of young kids, they dream and they see this like NBA or success, they see it like, I'll be happy, and you said I will have a lot of money and success and fame and fans and I'll be happy when I get there. And you describing it like as something like completely different, like
it's nothing like what kids imagine. It's nothing, because you have to, in the mind of a professional athlete, there's no reflection of the real world. So fans are looking at the real world. Good, you're winning. Good, the championship. Oh, bad, you're not winning. You're not doing. Fans are looking at that. Professionals, we don't care. All we feel the whole time is, I gotta stick a knife in these people around me. I gotta cut them. And it doesn't matter like, oh, we won, we lost. You have to have that same energy for all of it. And like I said with the bar, you're always holding the bar. You're always paranoid. You're always worried. You're always trying to kill everybody. And it doesn't change if you're winning or losing.
Because you don't want to get like too high from the wins and too like down from the losses. You want to stay steady, the same. This what you say, or you always want to like get the adventure and like fire yourself.
It's because this. It's because this. So this is the best. It's so important. Don't get too high from the wins or too low from the losses. To become a professional, the wins and the losses, they don't fucking matter. What matters is your schedule, your preparation. My schedule is 1,000 things. It's what I'm doing and what I'm thinking while I'm doing them, and the little details of what I'm doing. This is what matters, is this schedule, okay? The wins and the losses are over here. We don't care. All I'm worried about is this preparation schedule, my daily routine, the things I'm cutting out and the things I'm putting in. So for the way that a fan or somebody on the outside like relates to the game is through the wins and the losses. But the way a professional relates is through the back door. And the back door is my schedule. And outside of the schedule, if the wins and the losses come, okay, great. I make changes, to the schedule, but this is what matters.
Yeah.
This is what's dictating the way that I feel.
Because it is the only also thing like in your control, right? Like,
this is in my control, and this is what leads to my contributions to the team.
To this success and your like performance.
And my performance, again. I'm not getting like direct feedback from that. The wins and losses is the outcome on the end.
So you always focus on like what you can control, what you do, your schedules, your routines, your trainings, and then you only focus on that because this is the only thing like you have control on, right? That's what
the wins and the losses are inside there. They're inside. Like if this is everything, the wins and the losses are in there. But the fans think the wins and the losses are the whole thing. That makes sense?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so like. Oh, Hulon, you guys lost today. Oh, did we? Because I lifted this morning. When? right? I rehabbed my ankle, win. I was shooting before, I had a great shooting session, win, right? After the game, I went and had a great extra cardio session, win. Somebody invited me to dinner that I'm not gonna benefit from this. I said no, big no, N-O, no, win. I won today, I had a great day. Who lost? Okay, all the fans, they're sad, you lost. Okay, wins and losses, they happen. I won today. You see my schedule? You see what I did? You see how I attacked my schedule and kept it? I won, big win. So this is a professional.
So you focus on this and not on the outcome, the wins and losses.
And the outcome, this is the show.
You can also stay like way more steady, I think, right? And way more consistent.
Well, you said it. It's in your control, right? It's in my control. All this is in my control. The wins and the losses, there's 15 people on my team.
Yeah.
There's 3 coaches and 2 of them hate me, right? There's opponents and one of them had a great night's sleep, broke up with his girlfriend, so he's pissed off, so he came in and he killed us. I can't control that. I don't know his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He killed us. I can control my schedule. I won.
Yeah, I understand. I think it's really important because a lot of players, they see only like did I win, did I lost, and they let this like dictate the whole energy, the emotion state, and all this stuff, and they ignore like all the things they can control. Like if you like took your shots and you did everything you can to win, and you did like all the wins before in your schedule, so you have no control over the outcome, especially in like in group sports like basketball and soccer. Like from individual sport, maybe a little different, but not also, you don't always have control on the outcome. So this is, I think, like really important part. And you talked about a lot of the dream, like of being in the NBA. We talked about a lot of that, and you said it looks completely different from like what's kids and teenagers and players who want to get it, like imagine this. I want to ask you, but I think a lot of players still, like, they have this dream. Even after you said this, they'll have this dream, and they may be the ones who can actually make it because they understand what it takes. But what do you think, like, if you had to give like one tip, one advice, one thing for a young player who's now watching this episode, saying, I want to go to the NBA, I want to be a professional basketball, professional athlete. What's your best like tip or recommendation you can give them?
Well, you want the best, so you want one tip that's the best. First, I could give you 1,000. I could talk about this for 1,000 hours with a kid, and every kid is different. And I do talk to kids. I help kids to do this. It's something I do now because I'm older and I enjoy it. And kids have no idea what to do, most of them. But you want one thing. Okay. So if there's one thing to do, it's this. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody, and at one time in the conversation you meet eyes with them, you look them real deep in the eyes, and now because you're looking at them, they can't lie to you. And you feel them in a way you didn't feel them before because you're looking in their eyes and you both feel it. You're like, oh shit, okay. When I was a teenager, I wanted answers, right? I wanted answers to a million questions. How do I do this workout? How do I approach this mentally? How do I figure this out? I don't understand. How do I deal with a coach? Do I shoot this way or shoot that way? Do I go to this team or go to so many questions every day? And the struggle is to get the right answers to these questions, okay? How do you do that? You can't like have a professional in your life all the time. I can't be in your ear telling you, and you're always gonna lie to yourself. This is our nature. So for me, the way that I did this and the way I figured this out, like cracked the equation, is you have to have those moments of eye to eye with yourself. So what I used to do when I was a kid is I would go to the bathroom every day and look in the mirror, and I would get so close that I could look in my eyes like if I was looking like at my father or at my girlfriend in the eye, so that you trust each other.
Yeah.
You know when you want to trust somebody, come here and look at me. So I would look myself in the eye, and I would just sit and I would ask myself these questions, and I would say, "Hey, Joe, I have to go to the NBA. I have to. There's nothing else in life. This is the only thing I want." And I would have a conversation with myself to my eyes. And from there, you can't lie to yourself, and you start to connect with information that you already have that's inside of you. A lot of the questions that you have, the answers are inside you. They're in here. Yeah. Am I working hard enough? Do I need to do this drill? Do I need to get this person out of my life? Do I need to move to this other team? And you have to have those honest conversations with yourself, and you do it by staring into your own eyes. And it sounds strange. It sounds like it has nothing to do with basketball, but it has everything to do with basketball. It has everything to do with the NBA, because going to the NBA, achieving your goal, is really about being honest. It's about being honest with yourself. And the more you can learn to be honest with yourself and be real with yourself, the more you can get the right answers. So the way I did that was to be quiet, look in the mirror, look in my eyes. And my rule was, if you go to the mirror and look in your eyes, if you get close enough, you can see your whole body inside your reflection of your pupils.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that?
Yeah.
So that was my rule, that I had to get close enough so I could see my whole body, so it's like I'm talking to myself. And that exercise, it's better than shooting exercises. It's better than dribbling exercises. It's better than weightlifting, because the outcome is honesty. And that's what you're really chasing in basketball as a kid. So if you want one thing, you're chasing honesty. Why? Because there's a million kids in the world who go, I want to be in the NBA. Their parents are like, what do you want to do when you're like, I want to be in the NBA. You're a liar. You are lying. You're lying to yourself. If you went and looked in the mirror and looked in your eyes and said, I want to go to the NBA, and you sat there and said it, I want to go to the NBA, I want to go to the NBA, eventually your face would go, but I'm not really living like somebody who wants to go to the NBA. So that makes me a liar. And it's that moment where you realize the things I'm saying and the things I'm doing, they're not aligned. I'm a liar. And that is the drill to go to the NBA. It's not shooting, it's not dribbling, it's getting to honesty with yourself.
No.
Make sense?
Yeah, that's interesting. So we'll do this amazing, I think it'll be an amazing episode, and all the things you said now, it's so important, because when you want to get to a high level, you can't lie to yourself. You can't say, yeah, I want to go there, I want a success, I want the trophies, I want the fame, and not do the actual things that get you there, live that lifestyle, the schedule, this all training. And if you get to a point when you really honest with yourself and you know okay, I want to get there, but what does it really take? Now Joe talked and he said what did he do for 10 straight years with no days off, and training and weightlifting and plyometrics and shooting and all this stuff, and not just doing it with intensity, with 100%, and it's really different. And if you do this for a long period of time, not a week, not a month, not a year even, you can have a really crazy advantage on the other players, because none of most of the players won't do it. They won't do the things that actual takes to get to the highest level. So I think that's the most important part, and also being honest with yourself. That if I'm doing the right things, if I'm giving my 100%, if I'm working hard enough, so this is the most important part. And we'll wrap it up with 5 quick questions. Sorry about my English, guys. I haven't spoken English for a very long time, but it was really important for me to do this episode with Joe, because the insights like amazing and crazy, and I'm sitting and learning from you. And I want to ask you like five. It's like a quick fire round, like 5 quick questions. You can answer like the first thing that pops into your mind. Don't think too much, no overthinking. Just just shoot it, and you can do it in like a word or in a sentence, but it's have to be short.
These are from kids?
No, this is like a five questions. The first one: who was the best player you ever played against?
Derrick Rose.
What's your favorite city you played in?
Chicago.
Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
The best teammate you ever had?
Joking, no.
One thing you do before every game, no matter what?
Stretch.
Biggest lesson basketball has taught you in one sentence?
Be humble.
Be humble. Okay. So Joe, thank you very, very much. I really, really enjoyed from this episode, from your insights, and I'm sure everyone who listen, if it's like a basketball player, soccer player, athlete, who listen to this, who write notes, get this insight, who understand what to do and what does it like really take to get to the highest level and how you do it. And I heard you also like this is what something you're doing now. You help like young kids or basketball players to like help them to reach to the NBA. How do you do it?
So in the way we're talking now, I teach kids the concepts in their mind, the mentality, stuff they never heard before. So they have trainers that teach them to shoot. I don't do this bullshit. They teach trainers, coaches, whatever. I teach them the professional mentality. I meet with them once a week on Zoom, and they tell me their problems, they tell me their struggles, and I fix it for them. I tell them, do this, don't do that. And we teach them how to think like a pro, how to act like a pro, how to have attitude and confidence like a pro. And yeah, it's really good. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's more fun to play or to do this now?
Play. I miss playing very, very much. But it's fun. It's fun with the kids. It's fun when they ask me questions about like my jump shot is this and how do I fix, and I'm like, dude, don't worry about that shit. Like, tell them what to really worry about.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. How they can reach you, and if someone wanna work with you.
Just my Instagram. Just write to me, Joe Alexander.
Joe Alexander. Okay. So Joe, thank you very much. If you enjoyed, you're welcome to share it. Write notes, share it, tag me, tag Joe, and in your Instagram. And I really enjoyed from the episode and the talk with you. Even I struggle with my English a little bit, but you had like really great insights, and I'm sure everyone who listens will gain a lot of benefits from this. So we'll catch you up in the next episode. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Appreciate you. It was a lot of fun, really.